Maybe a position switch for DJ Justice?
Yep, DJ's playing in the secondary now.
What was the thought process there?
He asked if he could play in the secondary. So we accommodated.
More corner or safety?
He's going to play both, and then we'll figure out what's the best position for him. He was a really good defensive back in high school. I think when he was a sophomore, he had 5 picks in 3 games. So he came and said he'd think he'd like to play defense, so we moved him over to see. And so we'll figure out, is it safety as a corner, as he gets his feet acclimated over there and gets set. So really good athlete, smart kid. So expect him to contribute. But again, we want kids to play the position they want to play.
Can you talk about what you saw out of Jacob Sykes when you were picking him up in the transfer portal and what you've seen out of him so far?
Yeah. And I don't mean to say it's just because he's from Harvard, but a really, really intelligent kid. He's applied mathematics major coming out of Harvard. Talked to Tim Murphy. I've known Coach Murphy for a long time. He really thought that Jacob's an NFL kid. All the Ivy League players had an extra year because they didn't play one season because of COVID. So you'll see a lot of Ivy League kids kind of sprinkled throughout college football this year just because they weren't allowed to play their last year. So he graduated. He's in grad school, but he's a really, really good athlete. He's 6'3", 285 pounds, solid, can move. But we're really excited to get him. I think he fits in, mindset-wise with our players. Obviously, really serious about school, really serious about football. I think he's got a really bright future. We're excited to get him.
Last week you said you were up in the 80s, going to be at 85 for scholarships this year. Are there any walk-ons who have earned scholarships during fall camp?
During fall camp, no. We'll do it at the end of camp.
Okay. And we're talking about the 36 jersey number. Is anyone going to get that this season?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll vote at that at some point in time. We got a lot of football ahead of us. Right? We've only had 6. This is really day 7 for us. So we got a lot of football left.
Some former walk-ons that have been here a while, like Josiah Norwood, Alex Johnson, are they on scholarship?
Not right now.
Looks like Deshaun got banged up the other day. Is he all right?
Deshaun Foster?
No,
he's good.
Merle.
Merle. Oh, Deshaun.
Deshaun, sorry.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know what his status is yet today.
You talked a little earlier about guys playing the positions they want to play. Are there any other guys who have indicated interest in other spots?
No. TJ was the only one who came, and we had talked a little bit in the spring about it. And again, I want kids to be comfortable in what they want to do. But he's a really good athlete. We're going to find a way to get him involved, whether it be special teams, whether it be defense, whether it be on offense. But really love his work ethic, love his mindset. So everybody just trying to get a spot, and where can they contribute and opportunities.
You talked about more NFL concepts in the pass defense. How have the guys kind of done as far as incorporating that into what they're doing?
They've done a nice job. We got a veteran group with the older kids back there. With Mo and Blaylock and Churchwell at the safety spots, and then obviously Hump and Aziz coming in as a transfer, who's played a lot of football, and Devin Kirkwood has played a lot of ball. So those guys are doing a good job, and they're also doing a really good job mentoring the younger players that have come in. 2 kids, Kamari Ramsey and Coy Stewart, have done a really nice job. Real intelligent. We're coached really, really well at the high school level, so they're transitioning pretty good. But I really like the way our older players are helping our younger players out.
What's your assessment of Carl Jones' growth as a player since coming in as almost a safety and now playing edge?
Yeah, Carl just kept getting bigger. Trying to find the ideal spot for him. He's really playing outside linebacker for us now. He came in as a safety, got moved really in that first camp to inside linebacker, and then it's found a home. Kind of, I think he's an outside edge rusher for us. He can create some mismatch problems. He's been a tremendous special teams player for us, and one of our leaders in the locker room. I think every player on this team, every coach on this team, really got great respect for Carl because of his work ethic and kind of his mindset. He's been great, and I think another year, kind of getting the ins and outs and the nuances of playing outside linebacker, I think he's going to really help us.
What are your early impressions of Braden Peak and Jaden Marshall, receiver room?
Good, solid young players. They're still learning. There's times where they're not playing as fast as they can. Both of them can really run, because they're still processing. But I think they got a real big upside, both those guys. Big skill set, big catch radius. They're taller targets. They're long, but they got an understanding. Both of them, again, both those kids came from really good high school programs that know how to develop players. So we were excited, to get both those guys. But I think they're both doing a really good job out there.
Jeff, with the way Zach played last year, was there anything that he worked on maybe during the offseason to be an improvement?
The one thing with Zach is I don't think the great and it's a great quality to have, and I think all great ones have it, is he's never satisfied. So, you know, he's accomplished a lot in his first year for us, but I think, you know, his ability to look at himself and say, hey, I can improve here, I can improve there, and I think his work ethic on our team is probably second to none. You know, I know the kids joke around and call him a cyborg, but he just goes every day. He practices every day. He doesn't miss a rep. He doesn't miss anything that we ask our guys to do. He's there full speed and more. So I just think as he continues to grow, he's getting stronger. He's stronger this year than he was last year. He's faster this year than he was last year. We're excited to see him. You know, we get a chance to get into the competition as we get into September. But I just seen him grow in all facets of his game. You know, and I think there's nothing for Zach where he's like, well, I got that down. You know, and I think all the great ones are like that. They always just want to get a little bit better on a daily basis. And Zach really kind of put him in stuff for us.
Last year there was a lot of talk about how you had 2 number 1 backs in Britton and Zach. Are you expecting someone to be a second number 1 back this year, or do you think Zach will have to take on a little bit more of the workload?
I think it depends on the game, and it depends on, you know, kind of how the season's going. You know, I think we got a lot of confidence in Keegan. Keegan has really played a lot of football for us and been a really good player for us. He's had a great offseason. He's one of the guys here in the first 7 days that I think has really stood out. You know, and I think people in our program can recognize that right now. I think he's a legitimate home run threat. I think he's a little bit different than Britton. He's not the physical, you know, downhill runner that Britton is, but I think he can accelerate and run away. He's got legitimate track times where he can go. He's a real big threat out of the backfield, you know, as a receiver. So I'm really happy where he is. And then we're just trying to see out of that other group of TJ, Deshaun, and that group that who can kind of emerge out of that group. And then Kaz is playing kind of dual roles, so we'll see how he fits in with that mix.
NFL teams during camps are using those guardian caps with the line and stuff to kind of concussions and everything. Do you see that coming to college? Or
you can see it. I mean, there's studies out. They're not complete now, but until we get the final studies and kind of what they can do, if it will help you, it's good. But, there's some concerns. Does that material catch? And can you get some neck injuries? We're just working ourselves through that. So we're always going to look to see whatever we can do to help the safety of our players.
guys?
Thank you.